Ria felt like her life was spiraling out of control. Every day, she was bombarded by an endless list of tasks and looming deadlines. The moment she opened her eyes in the morning, anxiety hit her like a wave. The world around her seemed to be moving at lightning speed, and she couldn't keep up. Deadlines, chores, and random tasks were all tangled in her mind, like a knotted ball of yarn. Every morning, the weight of her disorganized life pressed down on her. She opened her inbox to find a flood of emails, and her to-do list seemed to stretch endlessly. She had no idea where to start, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of things demanding her attention. There's just too much to do, she thought, feeling paralyzed by the flood of tasks. It felt as if she was drowning in a sea of responsibilities. Her energy scattered in 1,000 directions, and her focus slipped away with every passing hour. She longed for structure, something to help guide her through the chaos, but she had no idea how to begin. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, she sighed, defeated. But deep down, beneath the frustration, she knew one thing for sure: something had to change. Days blurred into weeks, and Raya felt like she was trapped in a cycle she couldn't escape from. Her life had become a never-ending chase, where she was constantly running after tasks, but never catching up. No matter how hard she tried, there was always more to do, and she never seemed to get ahead. Tasks piled up like an avalanche, each one adding more weight to her already overloaded mind. The pressure was suffocating. She skipped meals, lost sleep, and felt like she was running on empty before the day even began. Why can't I manage my time? She asked herself, frustration and exhaustion clear in her voice. Every day felt like an uphill battle, and no matter how many times she climbed, the peak always seemed out of reach. Each failure, no matter how small, chipped away at her confidence. The more she struggled, the less she believed she could regain control. She watched others breeze through their tasks effortlessly, appearing calm and organized. She felt a pang of envy. How do they do it? She wondered. The chaos around her seemed like an impenetrable wall, and no matter how hard she tried to push through, she couldn't get past it. One afternoon, feeling particularly defeated, Ria decided to take a walk through the local market to clear her mind. The hustle and bustle of the streets were a sharp contrast to the chaos she felt inside. But something about the movement of people, the colors, and the sounds of the market gave her a brief respite. As she wandered through the narrow aisles of the market, she noticed an old potter sitting quietly at his wheel, his hands expertly shaping the clay before him. The rhythmic motion of his hands caught her attention. With every movement, the rough lump of clay was slowly turning into a beautiful, smooth pot. There was a peacefulness in the way he worked, a calm that seemed to stand in stark contrast to the frenetic energy of the world around him. Intrigued, Ria approached him. "How do you create such perfect pieces every time?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity. The potter looked up and smiled kindly. "Perfection isn't the goal," he replied. "It's the practice that matters." He continued, his voice steady and calm. "I shape the clay little by little every day. It's not about sudden bursts of effort, but the rhythm of consistent, daily action. That's where the secret lies." Ria stood there for a moment, processing his words. Could it be that daily, small actions really made the difference? She had never thought of it that way before. A flicker of hope ignited in her chest. Could daily actions truly lead to something bigger? She wondered silently, feeling a glimmer of possibility. The potter, noticing the curiosity in Ria's eyes, decided to share a story with her, one that he believed held a deeper truth about life. "A long time ago," he began, his voice calm and measured, "a gardener planted 2 seeds in his garden. He watered one every day without fail. The other, he watered only when it was convenient, when he had time." Ria listened intently, leaning forward slightly, eager to hear more. The first seed sprouted quickly, its roots growing deep and its stem reaching toward the sky. The gardener took great care of it, nurturing it with consistency and patience. He paused, his eyes meeting Ria's. But the second seed, he continued, struggled. It didn't grow as quickly, its roots were shallow, and its stem weak. The gardener didn't give it the attention it needed. Ria furrowed her brow, sensing where the story was going, but she stayed quiet, letting the potter speak. The gardener tried to care for both plants equally, but his focus was scattered. He didn't realize that by neglecting the second seed, he was stunting its growth. The potter smiled gently, as if this story held a secret he wanted to pass on. Daily care, even if it seems small or insignificant, nurtures greatness. The seed that was watered every day grew strong, while the one left to chance remained weak and stunted. Raya took a deep breath, absorbing the lesson. The potter had just told her more than a simple story about gardening. It was about the power of daily, consistent action. "Your life is like that second seed," the potter said, his voice soft but firm. "Tend to it every day, and you will see it grow in ways you never imagined." Ria felt something stir inside her, a shift in perspective. She understood now. Small actions, repeated daily, had the potential to create profound change. Inspired by the potter's wisdom, Ria decided to take control of her life by starting small. Each morning, she spent 5 minutes planning her day. At first, the tasks seemed trivial, but over time, they gave her a sense of direction. She added a 10-minute walk every morning just to clear her mind. Though difficult at first, it became essential to her routine. It wasn't about fitness, it was about giving herself space to breathe and relax. Ria also practiced mindful breathing. In the midst of her hectic schedule, she took moments to focus on her breath, clearing her mind. It was simple but powerful, helping her to feel more present and calm. Gradually, these small actions began to compound. Each tiny effort, no matter how insignificant, built a foundation for a new rhythm in her life. The chaos slowly gave way to balance, and she felt more in control. Ria smiled, knowing that these small habits were laying the foundation for a larger change. Weeks passed, and Ria's small routines became second nature. She woke up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly how to start her day. The chaos that once overwhelmed her gradually faded, replaced by a sense of control and calm. Tasks that once felt impossible now flowed effortlessly. Her friends began noticing the shift in her energy. They commented on how calm, centered, and focused she seemed. Ria realized that the transformation didn't come from a sudden change or a burst of motivation. It came from consistency. The small daily actions she took had built a strong foundation. Each day, she had been adding a little more to her routine, and now, it felt like her life was flowing in a natural rhythm. Her mornings, once filled with stress and uncertainty, had become a peaceful ritual. Her time was no longer chaotic. Ria smiled, grateful for the steady progress she had made. The changes weren't grand or perfect, but they were real, and that was enough. Ria had come to understand a powerful truth. Big changes are built from small habits. No single action had transformed her life, but the cumulative effect of her small daily efforts had created a profound shift. She no longer chased perfection or waited for a big breakthrough. Instead, she focused on consistency and small, manageable steps. Her life felt more stable, purposeful, and fulfilling. She realized that success didn't come from doing everything perfectly. It came from showing up every day, no matter how small the effort seemed. Routine is the architect of destiny, she thought, embracing the idea that her daily actions were shaping her future. Ria now understood that success wasn't about a grand, dramatic change. It was about the quiet, steady progress that came from small, consistent habits. Each small action was a building block for a better future, one day at a time. As Ria reflected on her journey, she realized how far she had come. Her life, once chaotic and overwhelming, was now balanced and purposeful. The small changes she had made over time had transformed her mindset and her daily routine, shaping a life of progress rather than perfection. Now, it's your turn. As you finish hearing Ria's story, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are you building your own routine, or are you letting each day slip by without direction? Think about the small habits you could begin today. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes to plan your day, or getting outside for a walk. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be consistent. Remember, small habits, done daily, build the foundation for big dreams. Start today, even with just one small step, and watch how these small actions add up over time.